Hey everyone, it's Kyle Wood here with United Country in Rocky Point. We are at episode number 7 for Puerto Penasco Living Webcast. Thank you all for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about Mexican Real Estate Bank Trust, or otherwise known as the Fideicomiso. That is the word for Mexican bank trust, real estate bank trust. We've had many questions on, can I own real estate in Mexico? And the answer is absolutely yes. What we need to know is, what is the history behind the Mexican Real Estate Bank Trust, and how does it operate? It's very the trust is very similar to a trust in the United States. That's the way that's the easiest explained. And essentially, you have a bank that's authorized to do business in Mexico, whether it be an international bank or a local bank, and they do business in real estate bank trust, holding trusts and deeds for non-Mexican citizens. Essentially, going back in history, the Mexican Constitution prevents foreign ownership in what's called the restricted zone, and most of the resorts are in the restricted zone. The restricted zone is 62 miles from the international border, and 31 miles from the coastal zone, or the ocean, essentially. And in order to for a foreigner to own property in these areas, the restricted zone, you have to own it either in a real estate bank trust or in a Mexican corporation. And we'll talk specifically about the bank trust. The law was there was a law passed in 1972 that allowed for this type of foreign ownership through Fideicomiso. And that gives you all the rights and responsibilities as a non-Mexican citizen, the right to own, the right to make repairs, the right to rent, the right to sell, and also the obligation to pay your taxes and the bank trust fee. The trust is good for 50 years. It was 30 years, and they changed that law in 1992, and they extended it to 50 years. And it's perpetually renewable, so you can gift it to your heirs, and you can renew it every 50 years if you so desire. Now, a couple details. The deed to your property is held within that trust. The bank is the trustee, and you are the beneficiary. So you're going to receive a document. It's probably about this big, and double-sided, and that lays out all of your rights, all of your responsibilities, and essentially a history of the property, showing ownership. That deed is recorded in the public registry along with the trust, and the bank will act as your fiduciary, very similar to a trust in the United States, and for that service, the bank will charge you about $460, $490, $650, depending on the type of trust that you have and the bank that you're dealing with. You'll when you sign the documents with your Mexican attorney or notario, you'll also name a secondary beneficiary. So if you happen to pass away, the bank that is acting as the trustee knows who the rightful owner of the property is, and make sure that you designate an heir for the property in the case of your death. So that's essentially the process for purchasing property in Mexico. If you were to buy property in the interior of Mexico, outside the restricted zone, you could own direct title. So that's an interesting facet of Mexican real estate law. As part of the process of purchasing property, the agents through AMPI have a network of notarios and attorneys that facilitate the transfer of the deed. So you want to make sure that you're working with a reputable agent that you're working with a reputable attorney and a reputable notario that specializes in real estate bank trusts. So that's it in a nutshell. Feel free to reach out with me with additional questions. Be happy to answer any questions that you might have. All my information's below. And as usual, have a great day and take it easy. Bye-bye.